one of the main things that I saw on the first property that I bought that was a huge expense was landscaping. So I literally had, I mean, people can't see the room, but I had like a strip of grass that was like the size of this room, and the guy was charging me. He's cutting it every week, and it was $15 a week for that one. And I'm not sure exactly what that'd be out to, but that's $15 times 52 weeks. And I had to pay him at the end of the year. So during the year, it seemed like, oh, I'm making all this money, and then at the end of the year, I got this bill for a couple $1,000s. And for that property in particular, if I would have mowed the lawn myself, it'd probably take me 15 minutes to do. And then so I was like, okay, well, I'm going to mow the lawns for these next properties until it becomes so overwhelming or unmanageable, or my time would be worth more spent somewhere else. Mm-hmm. And so right now it takes me an hour to mow there's three lawns, and we just did a quick calculation beforehand, and that saves me $2,000 a year. And so that's a profit increase of $2,000, which for these properties in particular, the bank that I use, they actually use the sales comparison approach. They use the income approach. And so that'd be $2,000 divided by whatever the cap rate happened to be for an increase in the property values. Now, so the question is,
that's usually factored in appraisals, how they usually factor in those costs. So I don't know if it would necessarily increase the value of the property, because when the appraisal takes place, they factor it as though how it would be run professionally.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So they wouldn't look at my actual expenses. They'd be like, okay, well, Theo's managing it himself and Theo's doing the maintenance himself, but we're going to underwrite it as if someone else is doing the maintenance and someone else is doing the property management?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I guess it does not add value to the property, but I guess it adds $2,000 a year
to your bottom line.
My bottom line.
In exchange for your time.
In exchange for 26 hours of time for $2,000. So yeah.
26. So what is that an hour?
I think it's a little bit under $100 an hour. Let's do the actual calculator.
Okay. 26 divided by 2080. Wait, yeah.
2080 divided by 26.
Divided by 26, $80 an hour. So are you good with that?
I'm good with that. So I can't remember if it was your podcast or if it was a blog that I read, but they were talking about the $10 an hour, the $100 an hour, and $1,000 an hour jobs. And as you progress through your business, like you start, your time in the beginning is worth not worth anything. So it's worth like $10 an hour. It was like what you would be paid, or what you would pay to do what you were doing, or something along those lines. And then as you progress, then your time's worth $100 an hour. And so all those $10 an hour tasks you were doing, you contract all those out because you're losing $90 per every hour spent on those $10 an hour tasks. And then once you become, where you're at right now, and your time is worth like $1,000 an hour, then even though the contract got those $100 an hour jobs now, because then you're losing $900 per hour spent. So right now, I think I'm at that $10 an hour job, and so me doing this $80 an hour job, I'm saving $70. At least that's kind of how I'm calculating. Again, as time goes on, if it doesn't.
So you're $10 an hour right now?
For my properties,
right.
Yes. All right. That's how much I'm my properties.
All right.
So that's one thing, and so along the same lines of brainstorming ways to decrease expenses. Something else that happened a lot at my at the last property is like really small maintenance issues would happen. Like the dishwasher would stop working, or last night I got a text and the guy's lock wasn't working, and it ended up being completely fine. I assumed that he just put it in there and to see how it didn't work, and they just text me right away, but it ended up working anyways.
Did you have to go over there?
I did not know. But if I did, if I would have sent someone over there, it would have been $100, $200 for a 10-minute ordeal. And so I was talking to Marcel about this, and for these small maintenance issues that will take 15, 20 minutes to address, instead of paying our contractor who I've already had him go over there and do a couple things, it's $100, $200 here and there. Mm-hmm. And based off our maintenance budget, we've got $600 a month per property allocated to maintenance. And so I'm going to go over there and address these smaller maintenance issues for a year, and then kind of calculate and see how much time I spent there versus how much money we saved. Kind of calculate that dollar per hour, and there's more than $10 an hour then, and in our opinion, we save money. So that's something else that I thought about, and something a key point on that and I remember I was having some conversation with people at the first conference about this, and kind of just other miscellaneous investors that I met, and they'll just use YouTube tutorials for kind of everything. Like there's literally YouTube tutorials. Like there's little YouTube videos for fixing anything, and so they'll go in there and just pop dishwasher's not working, like how to fix dishwasher doesn't drain, and they'll watch like a 2-minute video on how to do that, and then they'll do it themselves. And so kind of leveraging technology and leveraging YouTube to increase your profits, I thought was an interesting approach. Was kind of what led me to do this. Mm-hmm. Something else is and this kind of again goes back to, will this decrease tenant retention, but coin operated laundry versus just buying a washer and dryer and putting it in there. I calculated the ROI of buying a washer and dryer versus just doing the coin operated, and fortunately for me, the previous owners actually own these washer and dryers, the coin operated, so it's 100%. But I know there's some services that charge 50%, so they'll take half of the money that goes in there. So that's another way.
Well, on another angle with that is to buy the washer and dryer and then rent it to the resident at a more competitive rate than what they could get at Rent-A-Center, and just keep doing that, and then eventually you'll have it paid for by them. Mm-hmm. And then future tenants or future years, it will just be infinite cash flow.
That's a really good idea. Yeah, buy washer and dryers and rent to them. Yeah. So that's, I think something else you could do too is just obviously buy the coin operated washer and dryer and do something similar, or you can kind of calculate how much you would charge for the laundry and dryer based off like Rent-A-Center, or based off how much money it would be to do one load of laundry per week at like a laundromat, something like that. Something else that I ran into some guy at my gym, and he was talking about this, but apparently there's services out there for duplexes or fourplexes or these smaller multi-units where the water is not broken up per unit. They can put in these. It costs. I think he said it costs $75 a month to do, and it is. They do something where they essentially charge. They meter the water off to the individual units and then charge the actual residents for the water. And so you get charged for water every 3 months, and so $75 times 3 is $225. And I think our water bills were between $400 and $600. So that's kind of a cost savings right there. And that's something else. I guess there's one less thing you have to worry about paying off too.
And that will increase the value of your property. We do that on all of our properties. Okay. A RUB program, ratio utility bill back system. There are companies out there that facilitate that for you. And the thing to keep in mind is that's an expense that the resident didn't already have. Therefore, it's basically a rent increase of X amount of dollars. So you want to make sure that what's the competition doing? Are they doing it? If not, then are you competitive enough to be able to pull it off and have that increase amount of money that the resident is paying out of pocket on a monthly basis?
Okay. And then the last one I have, and specifically for smaller properties, is property management. And so again, it's important, at least from my perspective, to figure out how much time I'm spending doing the property management duties per month based on how much money I would be spending on a property manager to make sure that it's worth my time. One other small caveat as to why I think that I'm going to, continue to do property management is because I'm starting to toy with the idea of actually doing a property management company. So kind of having my own property management company run my properties, and maybe in the future bringing on other people's properties. But that's something I'm kind of just a thought and floated in my head based on some conversation I had with a couple of investors. And so that's for smaller properties. If you're interested in a list of ways to increase your profits on larger properties, we've got a document with over 25 ways to 25 multifamily value add opportunities for simple upgrades up to these more expensive advanced upgrades like building a carport or adding in a daycare center. And so if you want to have that document, you can send an email to info@Fairless and just put multifamily value add opportunities in the subject line, and we will send that over to you.